more than friends and family. When I'm weak, he is strong. Maybe young, but this I know, he leads me big inside, still waters and provides green pastures where I lay. Grace and mercy every day. Golden Graces. Pleasure being here with you all. This is RevDocD in the building. And we're not going to waste anybody's time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Karibu. Bienvenidos. Well, we're going to get this party started. This is our KISSES presentation for a module on critical thinking. I am the founder, chiefess, inspirational agripreneur for Mother Earth Reverence Farms and Ministries. We're a 508c1a nonprofit. We have 3 daughters: Wellness Mobile Veterinary Clinics, Global Love Triumphant Ministries, and Sustainable Hemp Hall Enterprises. And they have daughters. For the clinics, it's One Wellness that focuses on our friends, animal stewards, in their overall optimal health and well-being. There is Womanist Productions. They are the publishing arm for anything having to do with any of the daughters and granddaughters. Out of Global Love and in combination with Sustainable Hemp Hall Enterprises is Green Pastures Agri-Villages Ashrams. And at this time, we're launching GreenDreams, which is an incubator program for agripreneurs coming from a womanist theological perspective, so primarily for women and children of color on the planet. Well, today we want to get into critical thinking. And we are developing at this time the content for the KNOWW Conservatory of Academies. And we are reaching out to different academies to be brought in particular with the 2 ecosystems that we are focused on. The first one is ecological, and the second one is economic. And so KNOWW Conservatory is an acronym for these legends. I think one of them or 2 of them are still with us above the dirt. Professor Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. He is a colleague and friend. He wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Next to him is Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. In the middle there is Oprah. She's the first female billionaire of color. Wallace Wattles, he wrote the book, The Science of Getting Rich. And Madame C.J. Walker, she is one of the first female millionaires of color. These are legendary geniuses that we can glean what it means to have an entrepreneurial mindset, skill set, and tool set. And so just a little bit on what we're doing with the Conservatory is a pedagogy. The way in which we teach is challenge-based learning. So when one enters into the incubator program, your project is your business, as it ought to be. And so along the way, we offer guidance and wisdom, direction on what to do, how to do, when to do, get you plugged into people, and ways that you can be mentored along the way. So let's get into the critical thinking a little bit. So I do, regardless of the subject matter, your course, whatever courses you're taking, whatever one is studying, there is a way of thinking that will serve you. One is to gather information. We're in the information age. I call it vibe sometimes. Virtual information, blockchain era. We are in a huge paradigm shift here in the 21st century global village. And you can tap into the World Wide Web and ask just about any question. And information that is gathered on that internet since human civilization is on there somewhere. You can ask it any kind of a question, usually. Now, we're going to get into some other aspects of information. But right now, information refers to facts. Facts that provided or learned about something or someone. What is conveyed or represented by a particular arrangement or sequence of things. Many of us are referring to like social media, your sources. So yes, we are in the information age. Some people call it the digital age. But this began in the mid-20th century, such as digital communication. And some of us are still in the 20th century. We want to bring people into the 21st century. Amen? And so being aware of this, being in cognition in your mind, this is where we are. Access to information at any time, anywhere on the planet, if you will. This is a paradigm shift. Knowledge. Okay, what is knowledge then? Well, now we're doing some building blocks. Refers to facts, information, and skills required by a person through experience or education. Okay, so we're kind of building up on that information. The theoretical or practical understanding of subject matters. So in many ways, we're assembling that knowledge in a particular lane, if you will, and having that awareness or familiarity that's gained by experience in whatever you're studying. So it's like going to college. Now, we're not saying everybody has to go to college. But what we're saying here is whatever you intend to study, whatever it's planted in your heart, your mind, your soul, in which you feel like you have so much ecstasy and bliss in knowing about. Like for me, it was nature. So I was like a sponge. And then going out and getting some experience. That's building a knowledge base, if you will, and gaining familiarity. Okay, now we're getting on into wisdom. What is wisdom then? Well, wisdom refers to the ability to make sound judgments and decisions by effectively using knowledge, experience, and insights, hopefully gained, to achieve benevolent outcomes for oneself and others. So it goes beyond knowledge and intelligence. It's a practical and thoughtful application of knowledge. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's something that is a cumulative effect. And of course, we want to, I would say, in a Commonwealth society, we would like to couple that with empathy and some common sense. Some people say common sense ain't so common. We want you to have some common sense. What makes sense when all boats can rise together for the Commonwealth, not just for oneself, but for everybody else as well? Okay, so we're going a little deeper here. Analysis and evaluation. So the ability to critically examine data, information, arguments for appreciating the validity of the information, the correctness of the information, the strength and potential for whatever implications of that information, the involvement, association, and usage. Where is this information coming from? Objectivity and reason. It means to have an appreciation for whatever information and data details from an unbiased perspective or the least biased. You want to utilize a little bit of logic here, some reasoning in making one's assessment and analyses. That way you can make a good decision and arrive at a conclusion that makes sense. Got it? Questioning assumptions. So it is significant to challenge what are the preconceived notions with this evaluation, with the details that you're being given, the ideas, the belief, including one's own. We all have prejudices. We all have levels of bigotry. It's just who we are as human beings. But the quest is to have a search for a deeper understanding, or maybe even understanding. That is where we're headed. It's not to be encountering anyone else. It's just a search for meaning, a quest for deeper understanding. Okay, this is number 2 on the deep dive. So we're gathering information. So there is an intentionality. That means you intend to collect and synthesize or put it together relevant details. What is relevant? And this data information, it needs to come from sound, verifiable sources. I didn't list any sources here because I don't want to necessarily influence anyone's sources. But I would say in today's global village, 21st century global village, I think at least 5 and maybe lean more toward 10, just because of, let's say, your own country and then globally. So at least 5 that are rooted in your own country, which includes local news, state news if you're in the United States, national news, and then globally, at least 5 sources. I think 10 is a good number. And then reflect and becoming more self-aware, recognizing, and reflecting on one's own thought patterns and processes. As I've mentioned, our own biases and assumptions. I'll raise my hand right now, and say I sometimes make too many assumptions. The beauty in this is recognizing, recognize, recognizing, being aware that, oh, I am thinking this away. It's an awareness, being self aware that, ooh, I didn't realize I had this. And check correcting and redirecting oneself when those moments come up, when they arise. And then informed decision making. So you want to be able to utilize these already analyzed details and data information in order to make sound judgments. This is what we're missing in the current societal discourse. Making sound judgments based on everything that I just talked about. And then being focused on potential solutions. Not just saying things for saying just for the sake of it. And then we want to be able to create a plan, draft a plan and a process for what we would glean to be benevolent, appropriate actions. This is key. If I had a way to flash this part, maybe I will highlight this part of the slide because this is a key part of what is missing today. So I don't expect you to read this very wordy part of the slide. That's mostly for me. But I like to break it down. This is the KISSES, keeping it super simple, educational, and silly. The questions of inquiry. What questions are you posing? What are you asking? You want to get to the root of it when looking at various sources. And there's 6. Most people know who, what, why, when, where, and how. That's it. But it does take a bit of time. But I'm going to say, but yet, and also, when one develops critical thinking, over time, with experience, it just becomes part of one's love style, love life, however you want to say, lifestyle, in the ability to critically think. Makes sense? So who's actually saying this? What? What are they talking about? Where did this happen? When? I'll do the how. A lot of times the how, you got to leave that to the creator. But a lot of times you want to know the how. Why did this happen? For oneself, the how is usually with the creator. And then I like to put in the whys, 7 whys. Now, I do offer this to people who are seeking health outcomes, healthy outcomes for overall health and well-being. And I just want to thank my brother who's here, my brother from another mother who's here, Argentina. So the 7 whys when you're meeting with a doctor. I'm a doctor of veterinary medicine. So if you have a loved one or yourself, you're in the hospital, you want to get to the root of things. And a lot of times people are using jargon, using language, using terminology that seems way over your head. And of course, you're in the midst of something, so maybe your mind isn't always able to compute, does not compute. So this is an equation, the 7 whys. And you just keep asking why. Well, we're going to take this blood test. Why? And then, because we want to look at your glucose levels. Well, why? Well, because with your glucose levels, we'll be able to see in your bloodstream, whether you have hyperglycemia or your sugars are normal, or maybe you have low. So you keep asking the why. Well, if my sugar's low, what's that about? You keep asking the whys, and then you'll get a more full picture of what's happening. That's one way that I've suggested to people to get to the root, the root of things. So one of the critical thinking, I'm just going to use one question of this. You're welcome to take a screenshot. So when you're looking at sources, it's like, who is benefiting from this information getting out? Who is this harmful to? As far as what? What are the strengths and weaknesses of this information? This don't sound correct to me. Is there another perspective that we can look at? Where would we see this in the real world? Where are there similar concepts or situations? When is this acceptable or unacceptable? Why? Okay, you know how much I love why. Why is this such a challenge for people? Why is it even relevant? Why is it relevant to me? Why is it relevant for others? Why? And then how? How is this similar to fill in the blank? So let me go back here because I wanted to bring in, let me see if I can bring this in. Bring in a video. Okay. I made a mistake and didn't copy this. So I'm bringing it in now. If I can, let's see. Oh, I can do a share screen. There we go. Okay. Well, I think this is the one.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want, and watch it take shape. Every day, a sea of decisions stretches before us. Some are small and unimportant, but others have a larger impact on our lives. For example, which politician should I vote for? Should I try the latest diet craze? Or will email make me a millionaire? We're bombarded with so many decisions that it's impossible to make a perfect choice every time. But there are many ways to improve our chances, and one particularly effective technique is critical thinking. This is a way of approaching a question that allows us to carefully deconstruct a situation, reveal its hidden issues, such as bias and manipulation, and make the best decision. If the critical part sounds negative, that's because, in a way, it is. Rather than choosing an answer because it feels right, a person who uses critical thinking subjects all available options to scrutiny and skepticism. Using the tools at their disposal, they'll eliminate everything but the most useful and reliable information. There are many different ways of approaching critical thinking, but here's one 5-step process that may help you solve any number of problems. 1. Formulate your question. In other words, know what you're looking for. This isn't always as straightforward as it sounds. For example, if you're deciding whether to try out the newest diet craze, your reasons for doing so may be obscured by other factors, like claims that you'll see results in just 2 weeks. But if you approach the situation with a clear view of what you're actually trying to accomplish by dieting, Whether that's weight loss, better nutrition, or having more energy, that'll equip you to sift through this information critically, find what you're looking for, and decide whether the new fad really suits your needs. 2. Gather your information. There's lots of it out there, so having a clear idea of your question will help you determine what's relevant. If you're trying to decide on a diet to improve your nutrition, you may ask an expert for their advice or seek other people's testimonies. Information gathering helps you weigh different options, moving you closer to a decision that meets your goal. 3. Apply the information, something you do by asking critical questions. Facing a decision, ask yourself, what concepts are at work? What assumptions exist? Is my interpretation of the information logically sound? For example, in an email that promises you millions, you should consider, what is shaping my approach to this situation? Do I assume the sender is telling the truth? Based on the evidence, is it logical to assume I'll win any money? 4. Consider the implications. Imagine it's election time, and you've selected a political candidate based on their promise to make it cheaper for drivers to fill up on gas. At first glance, that seems great, but what about the long-term environmental effects? If gasoline use is less restricted by cost, this could also cause a huge surge in air pollution, an unintended consequence that's important to think about. 5. Explore other points of view. Ask yourself why so many people are drawn to the policies of the opposing political candidate. Even if you disagree with everything that candidate says, exploring the full spectrum of viewpoints might explain why some policies that don't seem valid to you appeal to others. This will allow you to explore alternatives, evaluate your own choices, and ultimately help you make more informed decisions. This 5-step process is just one tool, and it certainly won't eradicate difficult decisions from our lives, but it can help us increase the number of positive choices we make. Critical thinking can give us the tools to sift through a sea of information and find what we're looking for. And if enough of us use it, it has the power to make the world a more reasonable place.
Well, I hope you liked that one. I thought it was sweet, short, sweet, succinct, and to the point. Okay, well, I'm going to end on this. I put up all the ways in which leveraging artificial intelligence, we're in a global launch, yay, for RevAI. That's the name of the platform, RevAI. And yeah, brother.
If I can just add, what
Yeah.
you were talking about, the seven whys.
Yes, sir.
We used to do this as we still do it as an exercise amongst our business partners.
There you go.
When we discuss different things, and I tell you what, it
works.
It works really well. It's really funny though, because people get really frustrated.
They get frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I couldn't say frustrated, because you just keep going, and it's like why, and it does make you think critically about your decisions and your thinking. And
thank you for mentioning that, because as a doctor, when I see other doctors, or if I say to them, ask the 7 whys, if they get frustrated or if they don't want to talk to you because you ask a question, that's a red flag. And I neglected to mention that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Awesome.
People who are not afraid of questions, those are the people you want. I love questions.
If you don't have the answer, just tell them you don't have the answer.
Exactly. So I think there's a built-in level of humility to say, some people act like they know everything. And I'm the first to admit, I don't know everything, but I will go look it up and I will get back to you. What's your email? How would you like me to get back to you? You got your hand up. We're in class.
No, and Live AI solves these problems.
Okay, thank you.
So it fills in the gaps. So you
It
bring in
does.
all your knowledge into the system, into this, your AI twin, into this closed ball of your knowledge and experience, and it makes it a lot more structured and seamless. I'm actually talking with a guy that I've known in Africa for a lot of years, and I'm using AI to help clarify what it is that I want to say, and
Good.
and clarify the best way to give the response.
Exactly.
So it fills in the gaps.
Fills in the gaps. I can't
Amazing.
really say enough other than hurry up with these. So it is in a progression of global launch, meaning it is accessible in 150 countries. There's just some aspects of it that's not yet available. So we're just encouraging people, take a screenshot. You see YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm not really quite a Twitter fan. So, but that's what's on the slide. LinkedIn, that's where you can reach me. LinkedIn and YouTube. And then twice a day, of course, we're based in the United States, of course. Claro. Twice a day at noon and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you'll have to look that up in whatever time zone you're in. And then the meeting IDs and passcodes are different. Certainly, this is a game changer. I know people always say game changer. Well, I got to come up with a synonym. It's life changing for people who are influence marketers, entrepreneurs, people who are branding. As my brother said, you can basically clone yourself. You have a virtual twin. And so, oh, I have this. I don't know if I can. Whoops. I did have the sizzle video. Uh, there's my link is at the bottom here, but let's see if I can bring in the sizzle. I don't know. This is the sizzle video. Okay. Let me see if I can bring in that sizzle video quickly. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Let's see the. Oh, I'll have to do it tomorrow. I'll be better prepared tomorrow to do that. There's this. You go out on YouTube. It's out there. There's a. Oh, you got you. You just can butt in. You don't have to be raising your hand.
My mama raised me polite. What can I
Okay, you
say?
are polite.
I just grabbed your Get Live AI invitation link. What I'm going to do right now for you, Doc, is I'm
Can
going
you
to
share it?
transfer that into a QR code for you. Okay, so with that QR code, what I suggest is maybe just swap out this final slide that you've got here.
Oh, okay.
For one, I don't know. I just think as a viewer, for me as a viewer,
Sure,
it might
as a viewer.
be easy. I can just take a screenshot and I'm going like,
Well, if you got it up, let's share it.
if I've got your QR
You're on
code.
stage.
No, I was meaning put your QR code on this page here.
Yeah, on the slide. I get that part. I'm just asking you if you can share it. We'll play it. It's only 1 minute and 40 seconds. The sizzle.
The sizzle video. Yeah, maybe. Let me have a look. See if I've got this here. Dun 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 dun.
Brother is a lot more astute. But I'm getting there.
I was thinking about you this morning, and
Oh,
I was just
thank you.
thinking, wow, if I can aspire to getting like a tenth of the energy and efficiency that you have, I'm going to
Oh,
be very happy with myself.
you're
So,
doing great. You, this
where-
brother is multi-talented, actor and tourism. He's so gifted. If you're in Argentina, that's the man.
I've got it here.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff happening here. Hold on.
Sure. I think
Now,
it's
which
great.
one? Which one do we want? The
Sizzle. It's 1 minute and 39 seconds.
well, let's have a look. See what I've got. Hold on. I'll just come back to see if I
Okay.
can present. Share screen. No, I don't want that. Share screen.
You ought to be able to.
Yeah, I got it here. I'm just looking for the right page.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just do it this way. What am I sharing here? No.
Sizzle.
Yeah.
Sizzle.
Okay. Well, apparently you can see this. So
I cannot see your screen yet.
yeah, here we go. Okay, so let me just reshare this. It says stop screen share. Here it is. Now we're cooking. Can you see that okay?
No, I can't see it.
You might have to add it. Click on down the bottom there,
Mhm.
and you might need to add it to the stage, or
I don't
stop share from your
Oh.
side. That'll be what it is.
Stop sharing this one. Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay. So, and I'll stop screen share as well and do it again. It's a little too much ray for this time of the day.
There we spilled over.
Here we go. You can see that now, I'm sure.
No, I cannot see it.
Oh. That's strange. Cursor. Stop screen. Stop sharing.
Mm,
I don't know what to say.
okay, well,
Talk about keeping it simple. It shows up as it's sitting there.
I don't even see you backstage.
Okay. So how does that work then?
I don't know. Well, we'll get it ready for tomorrow.
That's fine. Yep. Now we know what we can't do.
Thank you so very much. And we just want to appreciate everyone who came. I wasn't looking at my viewers, but hopefully folks will stop by later on. And certainly for the KNOWW Conservatory and people who are interested in GreenDreams will get a little seeding in their skill set on critical thinking. We want to pray out. May we continue to be guided, gifted, and governed by one spirit, one love, one wellness. And so it is. Ashe, shalom, amen. Make it a blessed day.
Thanks. Adios.